This excerpt was taken from the Full and Bloom interview with producer-engineer Randy Burns. More info at fullandbloom.com.
Well, my favorite Megadeth story is the day we were started, I was really excited. And we were working with Casey McMacken. He was another engineer at Music Grinder that I hired to do piece sales with me. He did a bunch of albums with me. So we came in and we had the drum doctor in and we had the drums set up, all the amps set up and got everything, got sounds and got ready to go. And I came in and sat down and the console and Casey was sitting at the console and we're looking around and there were no band members there. So this went on for a few minutes and then finally I said, Casey, what's going on? Where is it? Where are these guys? What happened to them? And he sat there for a long minute, and then he turned around and he said, they're all in some bathroom shooting up.
Holy shit.
And I was like, I had no idea. I mean, it was like really absolutely clueless. So they shortly thereafter, they popped out and started playing, and they were just incredible. It was a great session. They worked really hard. They played great, and it was really it was pretty exciting. So I didn't think about much after that, but it was my first introduction to that whole thing. So it turned out at the time, Chris Poland and Gar were both pretty strung out on heroin, and the other guys were just playing around with it a little bit. They weren't serious druggies yet. Dave's issues with drugs came later. It wasn't a big issue for the sessions that we did. A couple of times, Gar and Chris showed up late or showed up and didn't feel like playing for a while, and then eventually they'd go find some drugs and then they'd want to play. Other than that, it had no effect on anything. It was my introduction to that. I had been around stuff before.
That's pretty incredible to shoot up and then come out and do a great session.
I think people have this misconception that that if you're doing drugs, and especially if you're doing heroin, that you can't perform. People can perform at an extremely high level when they're high, and whether it doesn't really matter which drug or what it is. I guess if you're really drunk, you can't do anything, but they were performing at a very high level. It wasn't an issue. So I think that's still a misconception is that people have, that if people are high, they're not able to do their job, but they could do their job.
Yeah, you'd almost think maybe timing issues, if anything, more laid back if you're jacked, if you're on coke, maybe too fast,
Well, my experience with drummers is, and this is from playing clubs, I used to play clubs, that drummers don't do well with alcohol or drugs, and it doesn't really matter what it is, but in this particular case with Gar, he didn't have a problem. He played great.